right, and I need everybody's attention. We're going to move on. Okay, our next inductee. His name is Charles Butch Maxwell Stainton. Is that right? I do want to take a minute to thank the committee. The committee did a lot of due diligence with the help of Jay Spiegel to mine some data and find the deserving lacrosse players from well in the past. All right. So the committee did a great job with some help from data mining. But Butch was born November 29th, 1903, in Buffalo. All right. He actually went to Lafayette High School here in Buffalo, and that's where he was introduced to lacrosse. After high school, Butch attended Cornell University, where he studied and graduated in 1925. Butch received his lacrosse honors as a member of the famed Cornell University lacrosse team. Everybody in this room knows Cornell's rich in history and tradition in that. He quickly won the goaltender position with quick reactions and anticipation. Butch is awarded varsity letters in his sophomore, junior, and senior years. He was named a collegiate All-American as a goalie in 1924 and 25. The special thing about that is, with the 1924 selection, Butch was actually the very first Cornell lacrosse player to earn those honors, which is, you can't be said by a lot of people. The Cornell program has had many All-Americans since then, but nothing could take away from Butch being the first. He was also a two-sport star. He played goalie and was a captain for the hockey team as well, where he also won All-American honors in hockey. So a tremendous athlete, for sure. After graduation and at the end of his illustrious playing days were over, employment opportunities led him to Mount Clemens, Michigan, where he met and married the former Virginia Case. His successful professional career was interrupted by his service to the country during World War II. He progressed within the ranks of the service, where he was also honored as a major in the Army, where he managed all the PXs and all the contract negotiations for those. At this time, we would like to thank and introduce Butch's family. They did travel from a distance. Some came from Philadelphia. Kevin came from Ohio, as we mentioned earlier. It's great to have them here. But I would like to introduce Charles Butch Maxwell Stainton as an inductee in the 2024 class of the Western New York Hall of Fame. Accepting tonight his grandson Kevin and Jay Spiegel.
Thank you. I want to thank the Hall of Fame on behalf of my aunts, my cousins. I think there's a great grandson. Well, grandson here.
Right.
Yes. For this induction into the Hall of Fame for my grandfather. We didn't know about this stuff. Of course, we were born long after his career was over. But my grandfather never talked about his lacrosse career. I heard rumors that he'd been a hockey player at Cornell, a goalie, and a captain on the hockey team. But we didn't hear anything about lacrosse, because he was a humble man. And he had other things on his mind, the family race. And we're glad that he did that. And he learned things, I think, playing these sports that led to a life of humility, integrity, perseverance, hard work, determination to do well. And he lived that out in his life and passed that on to the rest of us. And so I'm thankful for that, too. He learned to participate in something bigger than himself, a team. And these are the kinds of things that sports do for people. I know I've seen it in my children. I was trying to keep them out of trouble, but also they learned self-discipline and teamwork and those kinds of things that benefit them throughout their lives. And I think that's what happened to him. That he grew up and as Tom was mentioning, he served in the military. He volunteered at 38 to be in World War II. He insisted on being a captain because he had 3 kids and he needed that salary. At the end of his life, he was a volunteer at the Lake Forest Hospital driving old people to their doctor's appointments. Old people. He retired from that at 92. So those are the kinds of character things that I think he learned. And I want to introduce Jay Spiegel, who is, and give him my thanks also, because he's the one that spearheaded discovering these things about our grandfather and encouraging the Western New York Hall of Fame to help and get him into this Hall of Fame. So Jay?
Thank you, Kevin. I want to thank the selection committee, particularly Tom Sutton and Ed Greenway, for helping to shepherd this Hall of Fame selection into reality. I never knew Charles Maxwell Butch Stainton, although he lived to the ripe old age of 94 years, passing away in 1998. I discovered him when I was searching the Cornell Men's Lacrosse archives and discovered his amazing record. Besides being a first-team All-America in 1924 and a third-team All-American in 1925 as Cornell's lacrosse goalie, he was also the starting goalie when Cornell tied Syracuse for the Northern League Championship in 1923. Although not pertinent to his induction today, he was also a 3-year starter as Cornell's hockey goalie and captain of the team his senior year. They played their games on frozen BB Lake on the Cornell campus. In the history of Cornell men's lacrosse, there have been a total of 13 shutout victories. The most notable one occurred in 1976 when Cornell shut out Washington and Lee in the NCAA playoffs on the way to an undefeated national championship. However, it is quite notable that out of those 13 shutouts, Butch himself accounted for 5 of them. That's in a lacrosse program, a storied lacrosse program that's been around since the late 1800s. My only regret is that the recent pandemic delayed Butch's induction. I have been in touch with his son, Charlie, Kevin's and Julie's father, who was fully supportive of this effort. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2022. I also take note that Coach Richie Moran, Cornell's famed lacrosse coach, was supportive of Butch and would have been here today had he not passed away almost 2 years ago. I'm happy to have met the acquaintance today of Butch's family and am really proud to have been involved in gaining the induction into this storied Hall of Fame. And I do want to close by saying that when I was doing all the research to present to the committee in favor of Butch's induction, I was able to acquire a pristine copy of the Cornell 1925 yearbook, the Cornellian. And I brought it here with me today, and I'd like Julie and Kevin to come up and receive it. And you can decide who's going to take it home. I'm guessing since Kevin is flying later tonight, it's too heavy to get on the plane because it's like a telephone book. But their grandfather is through and through this with all his exploits, fraternity, military, academic honors, letters, hockey, lacrosse, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So thank you very much for your indulgence, and thanks a lot.
Hold the book up. There we go. All right, thanks and congratulations again.